Hello, my name is Stephen Hersicorn, and welcome to the Great Guitar Build Off 2022. Um, I know said I wasn't gonna put another part of this for a little while, but I changed my mind. Um, yeah, so um, I decided fuck it. I'm gonna tell you guys about some of my ideas for reinforcing this neck, given that I'm gonna use the wooden base of the guitar as the actual guitar. Um, which I decided a little while ago. Now it's been like a week or so. Yeah. Um, yeah. Uh, so my idea for reinforcing the neck is such that I had some thoughts. Okay, let me show you my drawing idea. So this dark part is going to be composite, carbon fiber, or fiberglass, whichever I feel like using. Um, so the idea is it's going to be done. The neck is going to be carved out with a dovetail router bit so that I can cast into it carbon fiber in this manner, which is going to make it the neck overall be stronger, and it's going to remove the possibility of the carbon portion of the neck just separating. Like if the guitar gets knocked the wrong way or something like that, it's going to make it not be able to just pop out, shall we say, if the adhesion breaks. Anyway, so this rectangular piece is going to be this half-inch by 1-inch aluminum square tubing, rectangular tubing, excuse me. And yeah, so that's the idea. It's very crudely drawn, I know, but that's what's going to be on the inside of this neck. And given that it's an 8-string and therefore going to be pretty wide, that's going to make it even stronger. So yeah, I highly doubt that this shit will break because it's going to be an internal beam of carbon fiber and aluminum, which are a lot tougher than wood. So, and with the tubing, believe it or not, I know you architectural guys and engineers know this, but the tubing is actually stronger than if this was solid bar because the walls resist bending. The hollowness actually makes it be more resistant to bending. So, yeah, it creates a stiffer piece because of the way in which that it is. If you try to bend it, the walls will want to make the whole thing collapse, which takes a lot more pressure to do than to just bend a piece of flat bar. Like this one that I'm holding in my hands, which, what the hell is that? Is it tape? Oh, I guess it was. Or, no, that was oil, I think. It was a drop of oil. So I can feel it on my hands now. But, yeah. Yeah, that's my idea for what's going to go inside the neck on this thing. And it's going to be so kick-ass, dude. Like, I'm going to cast into the neck and create, like, such a surface that, or not a surface, but, such a beam that ain't shit going to be able to break this neck. Let me tell you something. Ain't jack shit going to be able to break this thing. And then, after that, I'm gonna have studs inlaid into this thing, like studs where it's gonna have like pieces of threaded bar drilled into the side and popping out every so often on the sides, so that it will grip into the carbon fiber, into the composite, and not let go. Which is just gonna add more redundancy and more strength to the overall beam. It's just going to be a solid internal beam that I don't give a fuck what kind of strings you're putting on this thing. It ain't going to break. So it ain't going to bend either. I'm not going to need a truss rod. Which, I understand that the truss rod is a revolutionary idea back in the day, and it helped and was a good system back then. But I find myself that because I like to use a heavier gauge string, especially with bass guitar, I in D standard DGCF tuning, I use a 135 for the low D and a 105 for the G, 70 for the C, and then 50 for the F. And it works perfectly on that. But when you extrapolate that out to like a 5 string, you add like your 176 on the bottom of the 5 string. Especially if you're doing an extended scale, if the wood isn't like perfect for that, then and you don't have like extra reinforcements other than your truss rod, you're just not gonna be able to keep the neck straight. I'm sorry, but you're just not. So I thought to myself, fuck it, I'm going to come up with a better idea. And I have. My neck reinforcement method is going to be so fucking strong that the idea of a truss rod is going to seem rather pedestrian. So, I do not seek to keep making guitars the way they've been made for centuries. I don't want to use outdated ideas and outdated concepts of building. I want to create something new, more powerful, and just better equipped to perform. You know, I've become very inspired to push the limits of what is possible, physically and technologically. Like, um, like a person that is a big influence on me is Eric Bugenhagen. The way he just keeps pushing his fucking limits to what he can physically do. Like, I think I've seen videos of this dude overhead pressing like 315 or something crazy like that, or might have been more, with like a keg or some shit. And it's like, Jesus Christ, you know, or doing 600-pound deadlifts and shit. It's like, damn, dude. And he's natural. So it's like, holy fuck, dude. Like, this dude keeps pushing his limits, you know. I lift weights. You see the fucking barbell and shit. Like, you see the barbell, you see the pull-up bar, you see the dumbbells laying around in my videos that I make. You see those things, I was never much of a presser. When I was in middle school, I could only bench press like 65 pounds. When I was in middle school, couldn't even bench 80 pounds. I was like thoroughly aggravated. Now I'm like overhead pressing like 45s for reps easy. Like, watch this, dude. Hold on. Press. 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 I think I got one more in me. Maybe two more. Press. Press. I think I could have even done one more. But, stuff like that. I'm going to do the other arm in a minute when I stop doing this. But yeah, don't sell yourself short. If you can innovate and improve something that is going to be beneficial to you and your craft and your life, go for it. Why would you ever want to be limited by things that people thought weren't possible because of narrow-mindedness and because of, oh, that's the way it's always been? Don't allow yourself to become how you say, stuck in those traditions, especially with like construction of guitars and shit. I mean, people, they've been making Les Pauls since the 50s. By all credits, I mean, in my opinion, a Les Paul is just a flat out a shitty design as far as like the construction of it. Not to mention, Gibson's joints suck anyway. But other than that, like, I'm sick of seeing Strats and Les Pauls. That's like the only options for somebody that wants to pick up a guitar. Like the only mainstream options. They're easily accessible. Like when you go to Guitar Center, everything's a fucking Strat or a Les Paul. You may see a V here and there or an Explorer, but like, you'll only see like a couple of them. You'll see like a Jackson Randy Rhodes here and there, or whatever, but you don't see like shit that's interesting to look at and like is new and innovative. Everything is the same. Like I love Schecter guitars. I have two, and they're great guitars, but like at the end of the day, like what separates them from the rest? Or I have a ESP MH1000 that you saw me. If you watch my stuff, you saw me rip an improvised solo with that guitar, and it's a fantastic guitar, but what separates it? It's a chunk of wood with a truss rod, and a fingerboard, and frets. I'd pick in regular pickups. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you should want to be able to move forward. You should want those things. It's only natural. Like this thing is gonna be a beacon of light for me. Like I applaud Aristides guitars for what they do, but I think even their shit is like a little bit limited for my taste. Like I want more options, even more options than what they can offer. So, because they don't really do much as far as like they don't do pointy shapes. They just started doing a fucking Telecaster like a year or two ago. Might have been as many as 3 years ago. They started doing a Telecaster shape, right? And before that, it was pretty much all Strats. Which, okay, don't get me wrong, a Strat is a utilitarian design, okay? That's why it's been around for so long. But by that same token, it's boring. I'm sick of looking at it. Even though I have Strat-shaped guitars, and they're comfortable and I like them, they're like, I want to see other things too. I want the pointy shapes, And there's a lot of these guys that are making like ergonomic guitars, or whatever the fuck. But at the end of the day, let's take for instance Tosin Abasi's Lorata guitar. I'm not talking about the Kaizen right now. I'm talking about the Lorata. You know, it's a fine guitar. You know, but it's still a derivative of something else. And I understand that my shapes are still a derivative of like a flying V or whatever the fuck. But I took that and ran with it and made something original looking. Like, who do you know that has a guitar that looks just like this? Focus. Who do you know that has a guitar that looked like that? With the classical slotted headstock and all the bullshit. Like, I want to see options, and I want to see unique designs. Like, as much as I think it does look kind of ugly, the Lorata is a unique design, and I give it credit for that. It's still a derivative of it's like if a Strandberg fucked a Les Paul, or like those big single cut basses. You know the ones I'm talking about. The ones that everybody was going ape shit for like a long time ago. The big single cuts. I think Ibanez still makes them. The SR single cut or whatever the fuck it was. Like their bass workshop line. but I want to see options with, shapes, neck shapes, um, stuff like that, and construction methods. Really, I want to see, like, even if you do have just a strat shape, make it interesting. See what you can do with it to make it yours in terms of construction, in terms of pickup layout, in terms of whatever you want to do. Like, go for it. Make it fucking innovative and weird in your own way to the max, and don't compromise on it, because compromise as far as design in terms of guitars is such a fucking stupid principle. Like, what is it going to help? You should not be compromising on your designs for your own guitars. Like, unless it's somebody's paying you to make it a certain way and you're down to do that, then, that's different. But, like, in terms of your own original designs, why would you let other people influence that? That's your baby. Why would you, unless you're designing it in collaboration with someone, and then even then make a couple of different versions, and, like, have this one, this one, this one, this one, that you do, so you'll have more variety and more, like, different things to look at, and it'll get you excited, and it'll get you thinking about the next project and the next one and whatever, and so on and so on. That's the thing that I've done with my guitars that I feel has been the greatest success, is I've never made the same guitar twice. Never made the same guitar twice. I made the same shape generally, but, like, I've never made exactly the same guitar twice. Each one that I've made has had its own set of challenges and difficulties. And I think that that is really important for making your guitars be the best that they can be, is to innovate in unique directions and do things differently. If you want this or you want that, make it that way. That is uniquely yourself, because we're all individuals. I'm sick of looking at just a regular, like, when people make, like, just a regular Strat clone. It's like, ugh. Like, I get it, ESP has the snapper, Schecter has the super shredder. I mean, of course, that's with a Floyd Rose, which I prefer over a regular Strat anyway, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, everybody offers a Fender Stratocaster. Everybody offers a Telecaster. In more or less their traditional format. Some companies hot rod them a little bit, and I applaud that. But, like, do something, like, take something that you like and throw it in a completely different direction and see where you land, and you might develop your own thing, and that'd be really cool. There needs to be more diversity of design principles and ideas and stuff that you want to do with your guitars. Like, that's why I think getting cheap guitars and modding them is, like, one of the best things that you could do outside of making a custom guitar. It's the best compromise in terms of, like, in my opinion, it's the only compromise that to actually do it makes sense. If you don't want to full on make your own guitars, start to finish, get something you like the look of, doesn't matter how much it costs, and fuck with it, tinker with it, do what you want. If you want to be a basic, if you want your guitar really basic, like, just one humbucker and one volume on, like an EVH setup, right? Then go for that. Do that, but don't sit there and act like it's original. If you're gonna do something original, make it original. It's like, that's why people don't like Greta Van Fleet. That are big fans of Led Zeppelin, they won't like them or whatever. I don't know why. I don't have much opinion on that, as I'm not educated enough on it to have formed a detailed opinion of it. But I do know that a lot of Led Zeppelin fans fucking hate Greta Van Fleet because apparently they sound just like Led Zeppelin. Well, it's like, at the end of the day, I get that. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, I hate the SN, like the snapper from ESP or whatever, or the traditional Strat shape offerings. You know, I have a fucking MH1000, so I'm not saying I don't like Strat guitars, but I am kind of sick of looking at like going in a Guitar Center or my favorite guitar store is Texas Music Emporium. Shout out to those boys over there. And seeing nothing but, and they're really good about that. They keep V's in stock. They keep Explorers. They keep fun shapes. Like they keep fun shit in stock. Um, but yeah, I mean, I get like not aggravated is the wrong word, but I see like when you see a wall of nothing but Strat shapes that barely look anything different from each other. You start getting bored, and you know the the you know when you pick up a guitar off the wall, 9 out of 10 of them look and feel mostly the same. I mean, if you go to like a Guitar Center, you're pretty much guaranteed that's going to be set up like ass, but you know what I mean? Like if you go to like a small mom and pop shop or like a previously mentioned Texas Music Emporium, their technician over there, Robert Hampton, he does a fantastic job of getting those guitars set up and like without nice action and like they play good, they sound good. He sets them up real nice. But you go somewhere like that and it's like you can really experience what the guitar is actually like. But at the same time, it's like there's still the problem of like every guitar you see or play operates based on the same principles. They all have the same layout. There's a truss rod and maybe some extra reinforcement rods in the neck. Okay, I get it. Volume, tone, whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm looking to make something new, innovative, and different. So if you like that, then stay tuned. I got some cool shit coming up for you. I'll holler at you later. Thank you for watching. Yeah, wrong side. God bless America.